Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everyone in advance for joining in tonight on this new installment of Metahumans Mondays. I know we're uploading this a day after on a Tuesday. We just got so busy with LA Comic Con this weekend, and me just trying to finish packing up all the whatnot sales, making sure I get all those out on time for all of you that support and buy them there. So here we are doing this episode. Uh, we actually scratched the episode from what we were going to do originally, and I felt this was more important because there's some breaking news today with George Perez, and he's one of my all-time favorite artists. So I really felt that it would be much more awesome to do this episode dedicated to George Perez while we still have him here on Earth, because a lot of people, they just don't get celebrated while they're still here with us. You know what I mean? A lot of times, a lot of these legends get celebrated after they're gone. And let's give George Perez his due while he's still here with us. He's still here. So for those that don't know, I'll break it down. I won't spend too much time going over this, but some of you might not know. But George Perez, who we all know from his work at Marvel and DC through the years, he's one of the legends, you know what I mean? Infinity Gauntlet, Teen Titans, Wonder Woman. I mean, I'm just scratching the surface. He's done so much. But yeah, I mean, he came out today on via Facebook page on his page that he has a stage 3 pancreatic cancer, and it is surgically inoperable, and it is estimated that his life expectancy is between 6 months to a year. That's what he wrote. And that is really, really unfortunate news. Now, before the pandemic hit, I was supposed to go to MegaCon in Florida. And but then COVID hit. There was going to be a Diamond Retailer Summit, and I was going to be over there. And that was supposed to be George Perez's final public signing. So it was a big deal, and I was literally only going to go to MegaCon because of George Perez. That was literally the only reason I was going to go. Other than that, I'm just going to pick up the stuff at the Diamond Summit because I have a store, just check in with everybody. And then other than that, I'd never been to Disney World or anything like that. It was going to be my first time in my life going there as well. That basically none of this happened because COVID hit. But I was going to see George Perez in his last signing there. He was retiring. It wasn't because of cancer. He was retiring. I know he did have like diabetes at the time. And he was just like, he was losing his sight or already had on one eye. And yeah, he was going to do his last like round of tours, and we just assumed he was going to retire and just kind of work on his health and take care of himself, maintain and just relax, because it's his time to retire. Yeah, that didn't happen because of COVID. Fast forward to now, we get this news today, and it's very grim, and he's still here with us. He's gonna do another signing, which this is where it really hit me. He said, well, he doesn't want to do anything to further the treatment, so he's in a quote that he put, he opted to just let nature take its course and enjoy whatever time, and with his beautiful wife, his family, friends, and fans. And he's arranging a signing, like one last big signing and meet and greet. There's no details on where that's going to be. But most likely it's I know he's not. I don't think he's on the West Coast. I don't think he lives on this side. I think he's more over than the East Coast right now, like towards Florida or something. I don't know if he moved or not, but yeah, I'm most likely not going to be able to see him. So anything I got of George Perez, I just cherish it. And I wanted to do this because, like I said, they don't get recognized enough when they're alive, and he's still here with us. So I thought this would be a really special episode to just do something sweet and awesome for George Perez, and just go over some of the amazing work that he's done, because he's such a talent and such a gem in comic books, and he's brought us so much entertainment that, let's do something, let's do something cool, let's put something uplifting here. I didn't want this to be a news breaking thing. I wanted this to be a celebratory thing and just kind of, you know what I mean? show some awesome things that George Perez did that some of you might know what it is and might not even know that he did the cover to. And also anyone that joins us in the chat or whatnot would absolutely love to hear what your favorite George Perez cover is or piece or whatnot. And I'll pull it up on here as well during the live show where we're going right now. And yeah, we'll go over that and just kind of break down some of the awesome covers and characters that he worked on and all the properties and everything he's done, because he has such a vast body of work. He really, really, really does. Both covers and interiors. A lot of people aren't aware of how much interior work he really did. He did a lot. He's got a vast body of work. So Ken R in the chat, saddest news possible. You are right, Ken R. Yeah, it is sad news, but you know what? It's I don't ever think we've ever had a situation like this where someone like this is. It's interesting because usually when some of these greats pass, they pass, and then that's it. It's like rest in peace and so on. So right here, he's like telling us in advance, so it gives us this like chance to like really like, he's here with us right now. Let's celebrate him right now. You know what I mean? Let's celebrate him right now. So, Ken says, first, George Perez work, Fantastic Four 164, and then Avengers 141. That is awesome. That is awesome. I'd actually love to pull some of those covers up on here just so I could, actually, the Avengers book, I have a copy of that. It's kind of a, my copy is a low-grade copy, but 141, sweet, yeah, awesome. So I'm going to be pulling up a couple of these covers here. And yeah, I love that one. That's the one with the Black Panther on it. I'm going to be pulling some of these up here. And just kind of going over them, breaking them down, you know what I mean? Oh, wow, the colors on that are amazing too. Wow. Yeah, some of these covers are really, really awesome. Yeah, Avengers 141 is I'm very familiar with that one. FF 164 is a Kirby cover. Yeah, I wasn't sure which one that was. I knew right away what Avengers 141 was though, because I have a chunk of that Avengers George Perez stuff. Don't forget the Taskmaster issue too. That was him with Rubenstein doing the inks, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm actually I'll pull up that 141 right here on the screen. Before I get into that bit, let me I might as well start with the most famous one. Here we go. We'll do this. Let's jump right into this. We all know this cover, and holy mackerel. So Infinity Gauntlet #1. If there is a cover that I think the general public, not even like hardcore comic book fans, would know of his, it's got to be this one. I don't think there's another one that the mainstream would like. They know they've seen it and they don't even know who did the art, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's got to be this one, Infinity Gauntlet #1. This is probably the most famous of his covers. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love this cover. I mean, what else could I say about it? Anyone that's seen it loves it. I absolutely adore the gauntlet and the glistening of the gems coming off it. I always thought that was brilliant. Really makes you want a gauntlet. It looks so freaking cool. And then how he turns all of the glistening into different panels on the cover. It's just beautiful. It really is. This image was cool because this actually had the original OA, the original art on it on the left here that I pulled up. And I tried to look up who owns this because I'm pretty confident this did not go for a small amount. Whoever has the original art, it must have went for a lot. It looks like he signed it in the corner box as well, which is pretty sweet. Beautiful piece though. Wow. Really, really beautiful piece. But Infinity Gauntlet, you can't deny it. This is probably the most recognizable of his covers, even though he's done a lot. And I absolutely adore this Infinity Gauntlet cover. Again, Joe Rubenstein also with the inks on this one. I got to Joe Rubenstein came to I had him as a guest at the Imperial Valley Comic Con in 2018, 2019, 2019. I run a comic book convention called Imperial Valley Comic Con, and I had Joe Rubenstein as my guest. So I know he's worked with George Perez many a times on many projects. So that'll be a reoccurring theme here as we'll all end up seeing. But Infinity Gauntlet #1, a true gem, and literally a true gem. All about the gems and the collecting gems, but this is like literally a gem of a cover, and a great set, by the way. Which I'm actually gonna pull. Let's see the next image here. I'm gonna pull up. Oh wow, Infinity Gauntlet #4. My other favorite Infinity Gauntlet cover. Some people used to trip out on this one when I was younger because it's just like Thanos hovering through space, so it looks kind of funny because he's not like standing on anything. But I always absolutely liked this cover a lot. This was my second favorite cover on the Infinity Gauntlet run. And I still have my original copy to this day that I had when I was younger of Infinity Gauntlet 4. And surprisingly, I actually kept that one in pretty good shape. Maybe because it was #4, so I didn't have to read it as often, you know? But I always liked this cover. I always thought it was cool. I remember at the time there was that Marvel Gems game on Super Nintendo, and Thanos was the last boss on that game, and he was freaking hard. But I have some memories of playing with that game, and you have to collect all the gems and stuff, and it's got a Warlock in it. So yeah, really cool cover, Infinity Gauntlet 4. George Perez, absolutely love it. And to the left, you can't deny this one. This is Crisis on Infinite Earths #7, and I'll probably pull up #1 in a bit as well. This is a newsstand copy right here that I have here. But this is a classic, beautiful cover, perhaps one of the other top echelon of top George Perez covers ever. I think everyone's top 10 list, top 5, top 3 list usually has this Crisis 7 on there. This is usually always on there in everyone's top lists, and it is a stunning Superman cover. You know, he's holding well, if you haven't read Crisis on Infinite Earths, it's a great read. It's an epic story. I always thought this would have been a great film for DC to do, or Warner Brothers, right? DC to do in live action, some form of it. I thought it'd be great to see a Crisis on Infinite Earths film. But yeah, this is the big one, you know, from the Crisis series. This is the key. I like issue 1, and I like this 7, the classic. You can't beat the #7. I believe the first appearance of Anti-Monitor is in this run as well. So that's like another key that's within there. Let me see if I can pull up the... Oh, here it is. Okay. Let me pull this one up here. All right, there it is. Ah, dude, this is a sweet cover. This is a sweet cover. All right, so shout out to Ken R in the chat. Yeah, Avengers 141. This is the one that you mentioned. Absolutely love this cover. Beast right there in the middle. I don't know. Earlier I was confusing Black Panther. It's Beast. This cover right here, actually, every time I saw this cover later on in life, it reminded me of the X-Men animated series. Right when the song's about to end, it's like da 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 da, and like the villains and the heroes are about to clash. I remember this cover right here on Avengers 141 always reminded me of that intro because of the way that they're gonna clash with each other. Squadron Sinister and the Avengers. So always thought this cover was cool too. Great pick, Ken R. Love this cover. This is really cool, especially if it's the first George Perez you ever saw. That's pretty fantastic. What was the first George Perez one I ever saw? Now that I think about it, I'm talking about favorites, but genuinely, what was the first one I ever saw? You know what? I'm gonna have to say the first one I ever saw is gonna be Crisis 1. it might be Crisis on Infinite Earths #1. And mainly because I can pull that one up right here. Kenar, I think my favorite cover of his are The Lonely Place of Dying and Batman. Oh, nice. I haven't seen that one in a long time. Yeah. Lonely Place, Batman. You know, thinking about it, I think it actually is the that Crisis one. I think that is the first one I ever saw. That's a good point. What is the first one we saw, right? Not just our favorite, but what was our first introduction to George Perez, really, right? Whether it was a favorite cover or not, it's still the first time we see his work. Let's pull that one up. Ah, here it is. So here's that Lonely Place of Dying. Actually, we had one of these in our auction not too long ago. Yeah, Batman. So, sweet. This is Batman number 440, George Perez cover. You got that giant Batman cape, which I absolutely love. Man, we need more Batman figures with these exaggerated larger capes. A lot of the figures we've been getting, you know, McFarlane's perfect for this stuff, man. McFarlane, we got to see a Batman with we got to see a George Perez Batman figure. How sweet would that be? But yeah, Lonely Place of Dying, Batman 440. This is actually I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 5-part series, if I remember correctly. I totally remember this though. Sweet pick, Ken. That's a really nice one. Let's see if I could pull up an image of the first one I ever saw. The first one I ever saw was Crisis on Infinite Earths 1. And I have a special link to this book because it was special to me because watch, let me pull it up on here. This is a freaking cool one. All right. Ah, there we go. All right, so for me, this book is definitely the first George Perez cover I ever saw. For sure. This is it right here, without question. First issue spectacular. Now, what made this one the first big one for me was this came out in '85, which was the year I was born, and it came out in April, which is the month. So this is a book that's special to me because it kind of like instills a frame of it kind of holds time still, because this is literally like when I entered this world. If I were to look at a comic book newsstand, this was the top book of that month that I was born. This is what it was. This is what the world was reading. And I always thought that was so cool. And so obviously I didn't see this when I was like, born or 1 year old, but it had already been out in that period. And to be honest, this book was actually pretty highly printed. So there was plenty of Crisis on Infinite Earths around. Actually, one time I found a collection. I bought a collection, and I kid you not, it was a woman who had a box of comics, and she had a bunch of like one of different things, but there was literally 15 Crisis on Infinite Earths in that box, 15 copies, and it was the only book that there was that many duplicates of. So whoever at that time was really buying up Crisis on Infinite Earths #1. So the book was pretty out there, but I always loved it because it's the beginning of an epic storyline, and it's a still frame in time of when I came into this world, essentially. And it is most definitely the first George Perez book I ever saw. Because of that, it's he has so many great covers, and I love this cover. It's not my favorite cover of his of all time in space, but it is my favorite George Perez cover for the reason of its ties to me, and me first seeing it and it being in line with the year and the month that I was born. So for me, this is it right here. Crisis on Infinite Earths is everything. It's my first. It's my favorite. I absolutely love the composition on the Infinity Gauntlet, because I love how Thanos looks and everything that surrounds it. But yeah, Crisis 1, that's a big one for me. And actually, Ken, in the chat, with that Avengers book, the 141, you remind me of probably Perez's other really well-known. I'll pull it up right here. I think you all know which one I'm gonna bust out with here, but it's his other really famous cover, which is that first appearance of Taskmaster, number 196. So Avengers 196. I'll pull that one up right here. And again, just a freaking classic cover. Let me get that one up here on the screen. And man, I've always wanted a high grade copy of this, and I could never get one. You know, despite people being down on Taskmaster, being let down in Taskmaster in the Black Widow movie, I still like Taskmaster. I think he's awesome. I've always loved the orange and blue and white. Always loved that color pattern on Taskmaster. I always thought it was super cool. So I'm still a Taskmaster fan. Buffy loves Supercat. I think my first George Perez I read beginning to end was World's Finest Huntress Power Girl. Awesome. I know which one that one is. Awesome. Buffy loves Supercat. I was lucky enough to snag a #1 issue signed by him. Where did you get your book signed by him? Buffy loves Supercat in the chat. Would love to hear your story. Would love to read it here. Where did you get your book signed by George Perez? That is awesome. Very, very cool. Let's see, George Perez, World's Finest Huntress Power Girl. I'll pull that up right here. Perez, World's Finest Huntress Power Girl. I know which one you're talking about. We've had it before in our sales, our claim sales, our Metahumans claim sales. I think when we had it though, it was when we were doing the Instagram sales during the pandemic. It was before the Whatnot existed. And actually, I think I remember when I saw it, I didn't realize it was a George Perez cover because his new stuff definitely looks different than some of his older stuff. Let me see here. I could pull this one up. World's Finest #1. Oh, wait. Maybe this is a different one. I'm not sure if I... Okay, I was thinking a different one. All right, I'll pull it up right now. But this... the Avengers 196. Before I overlap this with another cover here. Just give it a last tit of, showtime here. Beautiful cover. Actually, my favorite thing about this cover is the colors. The green. Dude, every time I find this book in a collection, I get so excited because, like, it's so cool when you see the green. Like, when you're going through, like, issues and pulling through them in collections and stuff. The second you're, like, in an Avengers, like, batch, like, I look right away for the green. Like, this thing stands out so cool. This slime green on this Avengers book. Absolutely adore it. But like I said, it's always in rough shape. I've never been able to find this book in good shape. It's always really battered and beaten. It seems like a tough book to get in high grade, but I absolutely love it. Avengers 196, freaking super cool. Let me see if I could pull this right here. I think I found the one you're talking about here. Oh, you bought it off a friend who went to MegaCon. Hey, that's still cool, man. That Mega. Yeah, he lives in Florida somewhere, I think, because, yeah. New Teen Titans 13 with Robot Man. Oh, nice. Oh, we haven't even gotten into the Teen Titans books, huh? I'm gonna pull up some of those right here in a bit. We're gonna pull up some of those right here in a bit for sure. Let me, oh man, the Teen Titans stuff, there's going to be so many. Oh, is it this one? Oh, volume 1. This is the trade. You know what? I'm not sure on this one. It says George Perez on it, but this is definitely looks different. Buffy loves Super Cat in the chat. Is this the one you're referring to? It actually does say George Perez on the bottom. I was thinking a different one. I must be thinking of one that's within the run. But Huntress, Power Girl, World's Finest. This is volume 1, so this is obviously the trade, right? Still a cool book, though. Freaking awesome. And Ken R in the chat, you're reminding me of all the Teen Titans stuff. We're going to jump into that right now in a little bit, because, wow, I mean, for most people, when they think George Perez, a lot of the hardcores, they think Teen Titans. That's what the biggest connection is. In fact, let me pull it up right here. This is going to be cool. Love this one. We've all seen this cover. You know what? It's funny because this is another one that I didn't have, that every time I found it, it was in bad shape as well. You would think I'd find it in better shape because it's issue 1, but New Teen Titans, issue number 1. A fantastic George Perez. Come on, look at that. That is sweet. That is sweet. I always thought it was funny though how because Beast Boy is turning into the Beast, right? But when I used to look at it when I was younger, I literally thought he was riding like on a like he was like He-Man with the Cringer and stuff, you know? Thought it was funny. Buffy loves Super Cat. Yeah, he wrote a few arcs in the run. Awesome. Sweet. All right, so this is the one you had. Very cool. Very, very cool. I'm a fan of Huntress, actually. I think Huntress is an awesome character that's not utilized enough. I think Huntress is a cool character. Actually, well, there's 2 Huntresses, right? There's 3 Huntresses, I think. Yeah, there's a couple Huntresses. But man, this new Teen Titans 1, absolutely love it. I always liked how he drew Starfire's hair. I always thought it was really cool. Donna Troy's red costume is awesome. Of course, you got the classic Robin with the green Speedos on here. Beast Boy looked awesome. And then Cyborg, dude. Cyborg. Those old Cyborg figures. Raven. Those old Cyborg figures from, who was doing toys at the time? Kenner? Trying to think who it was that did the toys at the time, but I remember there was a really rare Cyborg figure with like flak metal on him. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, Teen Titans 1, an absolute gem and an absolute classic. There's no way we're going to do this list without shining on that beautiful Teen Titans 1 cover. While we're on Teen Titans, I might as well cover the probably the biggest key issue of Teen Titans, which would be that Nightwing issue, which there was no way we're going to do this without including that book as well. And for many, this is like one of their favorite books. I know Boy Blunder, Francisco, he's a massive Nightwing fan. And he has an amazing copy of Teen Titans 44. So here we are. First appearance of Nightwing, ladies and gentlemen. On the left. I always love how Deathstroke looked on this cover. Freaking awesome. The Judas Contract. But yeah, I would say this book, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but of like the big keys, and you would think in issue number 44, yeah, issue 44 is so random, right? But for some reason, through all my comic journeys and hunting throughout all these years, I have come across this key issue of Teen Titans, Tales of Teen Titans, number 44. I'm sorry, Tales of Teen Titans, New Teen Titans. You can't mix the two. I have found this issue quite frequently. It's very interesting. I'm not even sure why. It's almost like a magnet to me when I've gone through collections and stuff, which is interesting because I think of some other books that like I've never come across, and like I have no idea like why this one and not others, you know? it's very bizarre to me. There's a few books out there that I can think of where it's like, how have I not found one of those? You know what I mean? Like, for instance, I've found runs of like Hulk, and like, I'm not kidding. One time I found a run of Hulk, and it was like, I was going backwards. It was like from issue 220, and it went all the way down without missing a beat, all the way to 182. And then before it got to 181, it switched to like some DC horror stuff. And I was like, what the heck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've never found a Hulk 181 in the wild, you know? Despite, for some reason, always coming close. You know, or I've never found a, what's another big one I've never found in the wild? It's so weird. Like, Nyx, the first appearance of X-23. I've never even found like a first appearance of Deathstroke in the wild, which is bizarre, you know? But I found this Teen Titans 44 on numerous occasions. And if you've come to our store, when we had a lot of the key issues out in the glass, we usually always had a first appearance of Nightwing, which is really interesting. So this book for me, it's always seemed like a good luck book, you know? It's always been hovering around. I've always been stoked to find it, you know? So I've had copies. It's a sweet book. So yeah, first Nightwing, my friends. Ken R in the chat, I bought a 181 on the newsstand. Wow. Wow, amazing, dude. Amazing. You bought 181 on the newsstand. That is freaking awesome, dude. You know, I was so young when some of the books came out, like, but I think back to like, dude, if I had only like, but see then that when I was so young that like, so how comics were for me, I remember like we'd be like at a, well, unfortunately, the only place I got the majority of my comics at the time was like Kmart, believe it or not, because there seemed to never really be an LCS when I was younger that survived, so to speak. If one would come around, it would close, so on and so forth. But Kmart or like 7-Elevens back in the day, which makes it even crazier because now I think about it, those are true newsstands, right? I was like actually buying newsstand copies, like literally, of comics when I would get them. And I remember my brother and I would go into these places, and my mom would be like, "You can get a candy, or you can get a comic," because it sounds funny, but they were kind of similar in price. And my brother would always pick the candy, and I would always pick the comic, because I knew that he could eat the candy and it'd be gone, and he would have nothing left. But if I got the comic, I can read it. I can like try to draw, right? I would try to like sketch. It wouldn't go anywhere. I would have it forever. I love looking at the ads. There would always be like video game ads in there too. I'd read the little news parts in them. Everything. I just enjoyed the book. I took it with me everywhere, which is explain why a lot of them weren't in very good condition. But that's me with comics. You know, I just saw the value in them even back then. Man, to get a Hulk 181 newsstand, that is sweet, dude. That is freaking awesome. Really nice cover is JLA, Justice League of America 200. Ooh, yes, that is a really good run. That is a really good run. JLA. Yeah, that is a you know what? Sometimes Justice League of America, sometimes it's slept on, right? It gets slept on sometimes. The comic, you know. People tend to not talk about it too much. But yeah, George Perez did do some let me see if I could find a good, I believe that was 1982, right? I know it was in the 80s. Justice League America 200. But you're absolutely right. There was a sweet run there. Sweet. So I could pull up an image of that here. There we go. There we go. I think I found one. But yeah, man, George Perez, killing it. he was doing amazing things always. He's one of those guys, should be on like a Mount Rushmore. There we go. Look at that. That is sweet. Justice League of America 200, which is going to lead me to one of my favorite. When I think of George Perez, I think of Wonder Woman. I'm going to get into those right now. Look at this, though. Justice League of America 200. So nice. One of the big things I love about George Perez, and that I saw him that stood out. Sometimes I would know it's George Perez by the amount of characters on the cover. He went so all out. Like, he would I matched him with like detail. Like, he just did so much. He would go above and beyond. Like, I feel like he definitely did more than he was asked. And you can tell, in order to do something like that, you really gotta love what you're doing. And I'm sure every time he turned in pages, original pages and stuff like that to Marvel or DC, he went above and beyond. And they had to have been blown away or stoked every time he turned in a piece. Because, wow, George Perez, I mean, the amount of characters that he would put onto some of these pages, was literally just batches and batches of characters. I love how Green Lantern looks on this one. I'm a big fan of Zatanna. That's cool to see her on there as well, especially in that alternate costume. That's pretty cool. It was an all-star jam issue. Yeah, it was a lot of big names always in the books. Buffy Loves Supercat in the chat says, I used to buy my Buffy comics back in high school at the adult bookstore because it was the only place available to me. All newsstands, though. Oh, that's funny. I didn't even know they sold comics at the adult bookstore. But you know what? It makes sense because the Valley doesn't really have very many bookstores, period, through time. So I would think they would carry them. What were the Buffy books? Were they Boom? Who was putting out the Buffy books, the originals? Was that Boom? Was Boom, I'm actually curious of that. Was Boom doing the first Buffy books? Like the first appearance of Buffy, so on and so forth? Something like that? Oh yeah, those Who DC character encyclopedias, George Perez, those were badass. Yeah, those were awesome. Ken R says, the back cover is the other half of the pick. Awesome. I love when they do that. I love when they do that. They got the those expanded covers. It's the other portion. Let me see if I could... Dark Horse. Buffy, let's recap. Yeah, the Buffy comics, Dark Horse. This was pre... pre-Boom, right? Boom didn't even exist, huh? Hey, Pete Robles in the chat. Hey, Pete. Hey, if you hear this, man, I would love to hear what your favorite George Perez cover is, man. I'll feature on here and go over it. Celebrating the great George Perez here. Let me see if I can pull that up, actually. It's kind of tough to find a good scan. You know what would be cool? A scan of that Justice League 200, but like an unstapled. It's got to exist somewhere, right? But like an unstapled cover in a back sheet, because I have some Ninja Turtle Mirage uncut back sheets that I got off of Kevin Eastman like a year ago, and I'm actually putting some up in an auction pretty soon. I'm keeping like the first early issues, but there's a couple where they're unstapled. How cool would it be to have some George Perez wraparound covers? I don't know why I blanked on that. Wraparound covers, that's what they're called. Where there's no staple that was ever punctured in. That'd be freaking cool, man. All right, so I'm going to put up here, when I think George Perez, this is what I think. For me, at least. And I adore this series. To this day, this is still my favorite Wonder Woman series. I think a lot of you know what I'm about to post right here, but it is. This is the cover to the omnibus right here, which I actually own. I actually have this. I actually have a first printing of this, which is pretty wild. I got it right when it came out because I just love George Perez's work. But if you haven't read this, actually, I recommend this. This is a really good run to pick up, and it's George Perez's Wonder Woman. Don't sleep on this one, folks. George Perez's Wonder Woman is absolutely incredible. Many of you are familiar with this image. This is from Wonder Woman #1. But of course, this was used on a this was also used on the omnibus cover, and I know that for a fact because I actually own one. Yeah, his Wonder Woman run is amazing. It really, really is. But look at all the little details he puts in there. He puts so much detail on these things. Absolutely love it. Another good book from this run actually is issue 22. Which was used on the second cover of the omnibus, and it's a sleeper in my opinion. A lot of people aren't too familiar with it. I am because I absolutely love it, but I think it's a great cover. I actually think it looks like a pinup cover, kind of, and it is sweet. I freaking love this cover, and it's this one right here. So you Wonder Woman fans, George Perez fans, here we go, and it's the cover to Wonder Woman 22. And it's got the birds on it, but I always loved it because she's tossing the lasso. Freaking great cover, though. I absolutely love this cover. It's definitely one of my favorite Wonder Woman covers in this run. At the end of this run, there's some other really good covers because you got like Adam Hughes stepping in. I'll try to pull up some of those as well. Yeah, let me see if I could pull those up because those later Wonder Woman covers have really gone up in price. Let me see, but I absolutely love issue 22 here, the George Perez one. I think it's incredible. Let me pull this one up here, George Perez. But yeah, don't sleep on this issue 22, the lasso cover. It's incredible. Absolutely love it. Here, I'm going to pull up this. This is the... Let me get it right here. There's some more George Perez goodness I'm going to show you all right here as we celebrate his legacy. For those that didn't see it earlier, here, check this out too. You might have missed it. I talked about it earlier, but here's the man himself, Mr. George Perez. And here's that Infinity Gauntlet cover. Look at the original art on the left where he signed it in the corner box. I showed that off in the beginning of the episode, but look how cool that is. That is awesome. That is awesome. Lucky person. Whoever owns that, lucky person. Even if they bought it 10 years ago, I bet you it was still expensive because it's Infinity Gauntlet, right? So it's going to be expensive. You know, earlier we were talking about how much detail he puts in these. I wasn't planning to post this one up, but since it popped up right here, look at the insane amount of detail on. Look at this. Look at this. This is how I knew it was a George Perez cover. You'd see so many characters. Like Ken R said, it's an all-star jam. Look at this. It's just so many characters. Just drawing everybody on here. You see like a Validus. I see Cheetah. Joker on the right. I didn't even realize Joker was on there. But man, George Perez just drawing up a storm here. So cool. Really, really cool. I absolutely love it. Here's one I didn't even know was George Perez. Actually, check this out. If any of you Trekkies out there, if you like Star Trek, I was not even aware this was a George Perez cover. Look at this. He did Star Trek for DC. I did not know that. That is cool. That is really cool. I've seen some right now. I'm seeing there's some CGC Signature Series copies, but people are getting signed by William Shatner. Well, actually, it's a smart book to get signed by Shatner. you know. Captain Kirk, signed the Star Trek #1. Shoot, I would have got it signed by. Wow, hey, imagine getting it signed by William Shatner and George Perez. There might be a copy out there. I didn't check the CGC census, but there might actually be a Star Trek 1 signed by Shatner and Perez. That'd be a sweet one. If I'm not mistaken, Perez did a lot of Fantastic Four stuff too. Let me see if I could. Oh, there's that Heroes Reunion. Check this one out. Some more George Perez goodness here. This was a little more recent. So this is when he kind of joined up with Kurt Busiek. I don't want to say his name wrong. But he did that Heroes Return. And this is a more modern book for George Perez, but it's funny because you could still tell it's him by all the characters that are on the cover. He still fills it up, you know, and it's pretty remarkable. I mean, the amount of work he would put in there. Yeah, pretty freaking cool. He also did the what else? There's 2 other key issues he did. I think he did the first appearance of the Vigilante. First Vigilante. I could have sworn that's him as well. And which is actually a key right now because if I'm not mistaken, the Vigilante is going to come on the Peacemaker show with John Cena. Actually, I'm pretty darn sure. I'm pretty sure that Vigilante's coming on that show. But that first appearance, which is Teen Titans, New Teen Titans Annual. There we go. New Teen Titans Annual. Whoa, okay. I found an image of the... Oh, wow. Is this the original art? That is cool. All right, I'm going to pull this up right here. Oh, this is sweet. Check this out. I don't think we've put up another piece of... I'll put it over the... look at that. This is the original art to Teen Titans Annual #2. First appearance of the Vigilante. Look how beautiful that is. Wow. I love original comic book art. I'll say this. For any of you that are investors or into the stock market or crypto and all that, I'll tell you right now, if you own some original comic book art, you got to remember there's only one of that thing in the world. And if you get the right covers, the right pages, the right artists, you can essentially demand whatever you want to price it at. I'll tell you that. Some of the biggest sales that I have had has been on some original art, and it's helped me get even bigger original art through time. So I highly recommend original art to get the ones you really love and to sell and flip and rotate. And not only that, but you get to see the details. It's so crazy. Sometimes the colors will cover some amazing things. Like on this original art, you can actually see like the buildings and all the little lights and stuff. George Perez had to actually like draw all of that in, you know. Buffy Loves Super Cat. Vigilante is going to be part of the Peacemaker. He was on the trailer for the show. Freaking awesome. Actually, I haven't seen the trailer for the show. That would explain why I didn't know that part. Ken R. Jla Avengers. Ah, yes. He is the one that did the Marvel DC crossover. That is true. I'll pull that one up right now. Huh. That is true. Those are cool covers. Issue 2 and 3. Pete Robles, Jla Avengers. Yeah, let me pull that up because that's a pretty important book, actually. Actually, let me before I go on to that one. Let me zoom in on this Teen Titans Annual 2. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. The detail. Look at this. I'm gonna zoom in. Look at the buildings in the back. He didn't have to do this, folks. He did not have to do... Man, what a beautiful piece of art. I'd love to own this. Look at the buildings in the back. Could you imagine sitting there and doing every single one of these little cubes, all of the skyscrapers, just sitting there? Keep in mind, this is like pre-computers and stuff. Like, all the digital stuff. I mean, just take away everything else alone. Just look at even Vigilante's wrist gauntlets. Look at all the line work. There's a lot that goes into this. That is incredible. George Perez, man. Incredible. That little water tower on the left, that'd been so funny if you could see like a Ninja Turtle or something. But yeah, absolutely incredible. So cool. So cool. Love it. Absolutely love it. Let me pull up that Jla Avengers here for you all. Let me pull that up here. So that is a great one. All right. Let me get that image here. Jla Avengers. I totally forgot about that. See, that's why I love having you all interact here. You bring up some fantastic... oh my gosh, I forgot about this. Wow, okay. Man, this is how you know this is George Perez. Holy wow, okay. Man, all right. Wait till you guys see this. Well, you guys already know what it is, but for those that haven't seen this, oh my gosh, dude. I wonder what the penciled version of this looks like. It's absolutely stunning. Look at this cover, folks. This is insane. Oh my gosh, look at this. You can see it in all its glory right here. Wow. Now this has to have taken... I mean, I'm actually really curious. This is like something I would actually ask George Perez in person. Like, how long does this take? This is issue number 3, folks. This isn't even issue 1. Jla Avengers, issue 3. Look at this wraparound cover. Holy smokes. Insane. Jla Avengers 1. Let me pull up 1. 1 is the one that, we're more familiar with, right? But man, that issue 3, that is absolutely bonkers. That is absolutely bonkers. Here's an issue 1. But man, that number 3 is impressive, right? Look at that, folks. That is impressive. Here's the wraparound of 1, which we're all more familiar with. It does not have the trade dress on this one, which is kind of cool. Because you don't even realize that Starro's in the back with the trade dress. I just noticed that right now. I didn't even really think that Starro is in the back, but he is. Or even Yellow Jacket. I forget about Yellow Jacket being on there next to Vision. He's all tiny. But wow, that third issue is impressive, dude. That is incredible. I wonder where the original OA for that is. The original art for that one? Who the heck owns that piece, right? That is insane. I'm actually curious if I type that in, if it'll pop up. Because man, that issue 3 is insane. I don't think that gets enough love, to be honest. I don't really hear too many people talk about that issue 3. But that is freaking gorgeous. See if I could find the let me see if I could find it here. Posted. Man, so crazy. George Perez covers, folks. Absolutely stunning. Actually, I could probably zoom in on this and we can get an even better look at some of these characters that are on here. Look at that. We got up on here. Let's explore this. Let's explore this together here, folks. Man. Vision, Black Light. I didn't even know Black Lightning was in there. Zatanna. Scarlet Witch. It's so weird to see Scarlet Witch next to Superman. I gotta be honest. Will this ever happen again, folks? Will we ever see something like this again? Man, this makes me want to go out and get this book right here. I've never owned a copy of. Yeah, I think we had a set of this at the store one time, and we sold it. But since it was a set, I completely forgot that this was in there because it's issue 3, so it's always buried underneath everything. And that set sold long ago, but it's just incredible, folks. Look, Kilowog's up there on the top right. Phantom Stranger, I see him in there. Martian Manhunter, Power Girl next to Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel. How cool is that? The Flash. Next, Hellcat, She-Hulk, different versions of the Flash, of course. Namor next to Reed Richards. I see Moon Knight really tiny in there. It'd be hilarious if like George Perez just had a joke with it and he just like threw Waldo, like where's Waldo up in here, just to be funny. How hilarious would that be? He's just having a kick with it. So cool, for real. This is amazing. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Ken R in the chat says people forget he did the inking on Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and he really made Kurt Swan shine. Yeah, I agree with that. He made a lot of people shine. He made a lot of people shine. He brought forth a lot of other talent. And yeah, you're right. He does not get enough credit. Sometimes he made the book. You know what I mean? Sometimes even when the writing wasn't good, George Perez made the book. I was interested in some George Perez stuff, even with just because it was George Perez. I didn't even know if the story was gonna be good, you know. But yeah. Oh wow, look at this piece too, dude. This is gosh dang, dude. George Perez, man. What a talent. What a talent. Makes me realize I'm missing a George Perez poster in my life. I might have to look one up. Let me see if I could pull this image up right here. This one's really cool too. This next image I'm pulling up, I'm not even actually sure what it's from. It's George Perez, but I'm not sure what book it's from. But either way, it's another beautiful piece with that one's a repeat. Let me pull up the there we go. I'm not even sure what this one's from, folks, but all George Perez pieces are welcome on here. So yeah, look at this. More detail on this one. Look at that Thor. Spider-Man. Beautiful. Beautiful. A man of many talents. Jay Garrick and Wizard right next to each other on the bottom left. There we go. That's funny, huh? The Wizard and Jay Garrick. Ken R says he replaced George Tuska on Avengers, and then he did great work when the Avengers teamed up with the Rawhide Kid and his friends, even with Vince Colletta inking. Very cool. Colletta, another great person too. Rawhide Kid, interestingly enough, I remember seeing a stat I read on a this is pretty trippy. A lot of people aren't aware of this. There was a point in time when like Conan the Barbarian was like the highest selling Marvel book. I remember that. I remember reading those stats. I don't know if it was like Comic-Con or where did I see that at? Where it had a listing and like, but Rawhide Kid, interestingly enough, was like actually like outselling a lot of superhero stuff. It did better than like it did better than Moon Knight at the time or something like that. It did better than like a lot of other titles. Kind of interesting how the sales were at those points in times on some things. Kind of crazy. Yeah, freaking amazing. Look, there's that Crisis on Infinite 7 right there. That beautiful Crisis on Infinite Earths number 7. There's some other great covers in that Crisis set as well. Yeah, we're here's the beautiful Wonder Woman covers again. before we round out here, folks, 'cause I just realized we actually are already we hit an hour here of talking to George Perez. Wow, time flew by. Time flew by, my friends. Just looking at amazing art from the great George Perez, celebrating his mastery. What a talent. We still have him here with us. We got to celebrate the man. He is a legend, literally. You can't give that to too many people, but George Perez is definitely, without question, a legend for comic books. Absolutely adore his art. He is the man. And, what could I say? Without him, a lot of our renditions, a lot of these comics, we wouldn't have, I mean, when I think Wonder Woman, I think George Perez Wonder Woman. That is in my head without looking at it. When I think Teen Titans, it's George Perez. When I think Taskmaster, it's George Perez. One other book I'm missing that I didn't even cover was the Deathlock book, right? That was his first work, right? First interior work was the Deathlock book at Marvel, if I'm not mistaken. That was his. So yeah, I mean, he's just synonymous with so many good titles. That Jla Avengers, that number 3, blew me away. I totally forgot about that book. And it's absolutely amazing. Just all the work that he's done. So without, further ado, I just want to say thank you to everyone that joined us here today. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have a great week. I'm actually going to go dig through my long box and in honor of George Perez, you know what I mean? Celebrate. I'm going to read some George Perez books. Probably going to go back and read the Wonder Woman. I do have a Teen Titans book of his too. Just want to dive deep into the art again. I also really like that Marvel Fanfare, the Black Widow stuff he did. That was so super good. But George Perez, you're in our hearts. We adore you, dude. You're the best. I know you might not see this or hear this, but we appreciate everything you've done. And just want to appreciate you here while you're here with us. And everyone else that's watching this who may not know who George Perez is, and now you know, all right? That's putting us this video here. Gets you a chance to know this talent right here. And what he's done for comic books and what he continues to do for all of us. And I'm gonna look for I gotta find myself I wonder if there's a poster of that Jla Avengers number 3. If there is, I might actually have to purchase one. That'd be a sweet piece to hang up. Everyone tuning in, thank you, appreciate you all. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Stay safe, take care of each other. Look out for one another. Positive vibes. And that's going to do it for our episode of Metahumans Mondays, focusing on the great George Perez. Appreciate you all. Stay tuned. We're almost going to hit 50 episodes, folks. We're getting there. The big 50. So that's pretty exciting. We haven't missed a week. That's pretty crazy. When we started this journey, that was the big goal. Let's hit 50. You know what I mean? When we hit 52 weeks, we hit a year. That's going to be great. A year celebration. So number 50 and number 52 are going to be big for us. So I appreciate you all that tune in and subscribe, hit the notification bell. You can tune into more episodes. Usually our episodes aren't this long, but hey, we're talking about George Perez, so there's a lot to go over, and we didn't even touch the surface of everything he's done. He's done so much. But that's gonna be it, folks. I appreciate you all. Have a great week. All right, take care, and see you all next Monday.